The 2024 Airfix Club kit is actually a boxing of two aircraft, a Spitfire and a Typhoon, both in colours suitable for D-Day. Today I'm building the Spitfire. Find out how I got on right here on Gary's Stuff. Hi there, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've been here before. Today, indeed, I'm building the Supermarine Spitfire PR.19 in 1/72nd scale from Airfix, one of the two aircraft you get in the 2024 Airfix Club offering. If you like the show, and I hope you do, please remember, give it the old imperial thumbs up on the like button below because every like counts. And to support the channel at no cost to yourself, why not make sure you've subscribed and hit that bell? That way you'll be notified of all my future content as it is published. If you'd like to make a bit more concrete contribution, of course, you can go to Super Thanks, you can become a channel member, or you can use any of my online affiliate programs. Now, one of these is the Airfix program. If you click on the link in the information box below and go to the Airfix online store, buy anything you like there, then at no extra cost to you, Airfix will make a donation to the running of this channel. And you can still get your club 10% discount if you're a member, and you can still collect your Hornbeat Hobby reward points. Okay, let's make a start then and have a look at making the Supermarine Spitfire in 1/72nd scale from Airfix. First thing I'm going to do is put the seat onto the seat back, to the frame like that, and we'll glue it in place. Then the next thing I'm going to do is put the control column into the base of the cockpit like so. And again, touch of glue to hold it in place. This completes the parts for the cockpit. I've already put the decal onto the instrument panel section here. So we've got the control column in the base here, which is the rudder sections here. These pins here will go into these holes here. This hole in the middle here will sit onto this pin here, and then this will go behind the whole lot in the fuselage. Now, they say to assemble this before you put it into the side of the aircraft. I kind of disagree about that. I'm going to put the bulkheads in first, then fit this, because I think it will fit a lot better that way. So, start off with this rear bulkhead here. This fits in just on the... Fit this rear bulkhead first. That fits in like so. Need a bit of glue to hold that in place, I think. Okay. Then I'm going to put the instrument panel piece in here. The two pins go into the bottom of this frame like so. We can just give that a spot of glue on the reverse side of the pins here to hold it in place. And make sure that that's a right angle between the bulkhead and the base, like so. And this whole piece can sit in here, into the middle peg of the three. It sits up against the side of the aircraft like that, and then the fuselage can go together. I mean, it's relatively straightforward. Just tape it up and glue it up. Okay, so now I've got the two halves of the cockpit together. When I was looking at putting this together, planning out what goes where and things like that, I thought to myself, do you know, Gary, the last thing you should do is really forget to put the camera window in. And sure enough, once I'd put everything together, the last thing I did was I forgot to put the camera window in. So now, fortunately, because of the design, I don't have to take it all apart. I can, hopefully, slot it in this way. It's going to be a lot more tricky than doing it right first time. But let's see what we can do. There we go, it's dropped into place now. I am going to put a little bit of glue just on the edge of there to tack it in place, and then leave it alone, and then hopefully it will be okay. No such mistake with the windows here for the underside cameras, the vertical pointing cameras. Just a tiny dab of ultra thin between the two here. That settles in between the two windows, doesn't touch either of them, and that would be a nice firm fit. Leave that to dry. Then when that's dry, the upper wing surfaces can go on. Now I always put just some regular polystyrene cement into the locating pin holes just to get a good grab on the parts, but the actual joints here always use extra thin, so I'll tape these up, probably clamp these parts at the back, then just run some extra thin around all the edges to get them nice and set. When the wings are completely dry, we can slot the whole lower fuselage assembly into the bottom of the fuselage like this. One thing you will notice, well, I hope you won't all notice, but you might notice, is how far this back end sits into the recess here. I think this part is either under designed or undershot, because you can see the line of the wing fillet here doesn't match up. It should be a lot further back, and this kind of sort of has almost like a step to it here where it sinks in too far. So I think this part here is undershot, maybe slightly. That should be lifted up a bit more, and that line should be complete. I'm not going to bother with doing that. I'll just sort of sand this edge down a little bit, not too much, because there is actually a panel line there, allegedly, but just to make it a little less prominent. But what you could do is actually just sort of build up this edge of the part before you put it together. Check it first, then put it together, see what you think. But I think it's undershot slightly or under-designed slightly. The tail planes go into these slots on the side of the fin, and the rudder fits into a slot on the back of the fin, like so. Then finally, for this section, we put on the canopy and keep it in place with some crystal cement. The supercharger intake duct comes in two pieces, like so. Then when the two pieces are dry, the duct just slips into the base here. Okay, I've put the masks on. I just need to fill in this gap here with liquid mask. I've used this set from CT Scale Models, specifically designed for this club kit. What I do like is that there's a canopy and windscreen set here, as you can see, but here there's a different set for the windscreen, which gives a better, this is the bottom edge here, this gets a better shape to the bottom edge, and also the side camera window. the Airfix piece is slightly oval. It shouldn't be. It should be completely circular. You can put a circular one on as well, and then when you spray it, that should look fine. Or you can put the one that actually completely matches the Airfix. Both are supplied, which is fantastic. Another option that's supplied, not necessarily through this aircraft, but a lot of Spitfire 19s had different colour ends to the spinner. So there's a mask for the spinner, and there's also a mask for a stripe here. Some of them had stripes on this part of the spinner. So all of these are provided in this set, which is really very nice. So that's the one you should be looking out for. Okay, so what I've done, because this is going to be all over PRU blue, apart from the invasion stripes, I've decided to do a bit of pre-shading on this with some dark, sort of like very thin black over the panel lines and a little bit of thin white in the middle of the panels, just to give it a bit of texture, really, because it's a single colour. And of course, to go underneath the invasion stripes, could just paint them white, but then there's not going to be any texture underneath them. So I just added a bit of pre-shading. This is the main part of the painting done now. You can see the effect of pre-shading here is relatively strong, but I think it's okay. It does get a little exaggerated on the video here. It's slightly higher contrast than what I'm seeing. I've painted the white stripes on and the black stripes. Remember, there's a little notch here for part of the serial number, and the door of the window of the camera bay here, on the instructions, it's a different color. That's still white because I haven't taken the mask off yet, obviously. And it's all the same all over. The other thing I've done with the white, I don't know if it's can make it out or not. What I've done with the white, you can see it's like a bit streaky. So what I've done is I've sprayed white on first, and it's not gone completely white. It's sort of like a very pale grey. Done the black, and then I've sort of brush painted in some white to finish it in, just to make it look like, on back in the day when they were doing this, quite a few of them were literally just brush painted with white. It literally got black and white paint and a diagram and said, right, this is the layout for the lines. They've got to be this far apart, this, and then paint them. And you literally just put them on with a paintbrush. So I want sort of a slightly more manual look. Now I've done that. I've also given it a quick coat of a gloss varnish. I've only just done one coat at the moment. I'm kind of debating whether to do another coat. Varnish I've used is this Lucky Varnish from Ammo, pre-mixed, diluted for use in an airbrush. Works really, really nicely, I have to say. Dries quite quickly as well. So I think it's given me enough of a smooth surface for decalling. Put that on, and let's see how it goes. So decals are next, and also some of the ancillaries like the props and the undercarriage. Then we can put the undercarriage in now. The wheel just sits on the whole door and leg assembly. The door and the leg are one piece. The wheel's a second piece. Put the two together. And there's a nice square, long square peg here that sits into the hole and settles the undercarriage in position nicely. The tail wheel slots into place in the back, and then the tail wheel doors can very carefully go on. Propeller goes straight. The propeller goes together straightforwardly. The blades sit in here, and there's a back plate that sits on there and sets them all into position like so. The exhaust pipes can go in, and as usual I've done these in a gunmetal colour first, and then just brushed them over with some medium rust coloured powder. All that is left to do then is to stick the propeller on the front, like so. And then take the canopy masks off and all the window masks off, and that is our Spitfire complete. So there we have the Airfix PR.19 Spitfire in 1/72nd scale in the special D-Day markings from the Airfix Club. I really enjoyed making this. It went together very straightforwardly, I have to say. Nothing here was horrendous. The fit, generally speaking, was very good. The parts are uncomplicated. They're obviously quite over scribed, the panel lines and stuff like that. But then if, like me, you can do some pre-shading, that actually helps, because then you probably aren't going to have to do any panel line work afterwards. I just did a little bit on the invasion stripes, some dark panel lining on the whites, and a little bit of pale grey panel lines into the black stripes. You know, it's good enough for me. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, if you're sort of struggling a bit at the moment and you think, I just want something straightforward to do, but which I can play with. If you want to try out some, I used oils for the engine exhausts, for example, this time around. For the exhaust staining, I used a bit of oil streaking in the ailerons. You can try out all these techniques on something as straightforward as this. Pre-shading, indeed, for the painting, I think works very well on this sort of monochrome aircraft. I've really enjoyed doing this, really enjoyed it, very happy with it. Hope the the Typhoon is as good, but I'm not sure. I think that's going to be a bit more of a challenge. But anyway, Spitfire, unreservedly, I would say, if you fancy making something simple, but something you can have a proper go at making as well, this could be it. So there it is then. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you give it the old Imperial thumbs up on the like button below there, because every like counts. And if you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell and you'll be notified of all my future content as it is published. Thank you so very much for watching today. Hope to see you again on the channel soon. Take good care now. Goodbye.